Hi everyone, it's Samantha from the Dancing Soap Dish. I hope you're well. Valentine's Day is approaching and I thought this would be a great time to try out a new idea I had for some heart-themed soap bars. So take a look at these. These are melt and pour soap bars that have had different sized heart-shaped cookie cutters pressed into them to make little grooves in them, and then mica has been painted in between the lines. And I think it's a really great effect that you get. I've painted these with various shades of pink for Valentine's Day, but you can use any other colors that you like, really. Here are the cookie cutters over here, nested heart cookie cutters, or some people call them nesting cookie cutters. And I'll be using them in today's tutorial, which is part of my Tweak of the Week series. So that's where I share with you everyday items and tools from other crafts and hobbies that with a slight tweak can be used for melt and pour soap making. Don't forget to check out all my other amazing tweaks of the week in a dedicated playlist on this channel. Now remember I said you could use any colors you want? Well, check these out. These are a rainbow version of the cookie cutter soaps. Aren't these just fantastic? It's the same concept. I've just used the nested heart-shaped cookie cutters to imprint the soap, and then obviously painted in between the lines with some great sparkly rainbow colors. And look how these have come out. These are splendid. Alright, well I'm going to get started now showing you how you can make these gorgeous bars for yourself. Sit back and enjoy. Alright, so in order to make these I just used a plain rectangular soap mold just like this one here. And then I used, as I've shown you, these nested heart-shaped cookie cutters. And I've also got this little set of cookie cutters here, which is for playing cards. I've got the suits of playing cards here. I'm going to pull out the heart, obviously, because it's a nice size, much little smaller one. I'm going to discard the rest and use that as well. Okay, so I'm weighing out my soap. I'm planning on making 6 80-gram soap bars. So 80 grams is approximately 2.8 ounce. And the first thing I'm going to do is pour half bars. So 6 40-gram bars. So I've weighed out 240 grams of clear, ultra clear soap base, which is about 8.5 ounce. And I've set my mold on a set of kitchen scales. And I am pouring 40 grams exactly into each cavity. If you overpour, like I just did then you can spoon some back into the pot. So I'm setting the scales back to 0 in between pouring each soap bar. And I am also spraying with isopropyl alcohol, just the surface of the soap, to get rid of any surface bubbles. As I said before, I'm just pouring in half the amount for the soap bar. So I wanted to make 2.8 ounce soap bars. I'm pouring in about 1.4 ounce into each of these cavities. And I hopefully will have enough here. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I did add a little bit extra for wastage. I didn't do exactly 8.5 ounces or 240 grams. I always add extra for wastage. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually, you can see some little like shadows, which is basically little groups of bubbles sitting on top of the surface of my soap. And what you can do is you can just grab a spoon and just collect that top film of soap that's sitting there. That's where any bubbles collect or any sort of overcooked soap. And I find if you're looking for a really clear soap, if you scrape that off, it makes the soap look beautiful and clear, just like you can see here. Alrighty, I've let that set, and now I'm going to just pop out one bar at a time. I'm giving it a trim if there's any soap fray around the edges. I've selected all my pink micas. As you saw there, I had a great mica collection there. I've actually made all those myself. I mixed all those micas myself. Check out my mica mixing video, because you can take, you know, a very small amount of micas and turn them into a whole huge palette of great colors. And I'll show you how you can do it in my mica mixing video. So I'll put a link to that in the description. But what I'm doing now is I am pushing my little cookie cutters a small way down into the soap. I mean, the soap's pretty hard, so I'm pushing it in as far as I can go. I am using a little hammer if I need to at any time. And then I am taking my mica and I am dry brushing the mica on. I'm not using wet mica. I'm just dry brushing with a paintbrush the mica into the inside of the cookie cutter, which is great because you don't have to worry about staying in the lines because you use the cookie cutter to stay in the lines. And then you also really, once you've put a layer on, you can put your next cookie cutter in. You don't have to worry so much about moving into the lines of the other color as well, because it just tends to rest on top. It doesn't sort of smudge into the other color. Once that other color is laid down, you can't really interrupt it unless you try really hard. If you manage to get another of the color over the top, you're not going to see it on the other side, and the other side is going to be our soap side. So there we go, that's the soap side right there, which is great. So once you've done that, just push that back into the cavity. Don't use your fingers because you'll put holes in the mica, but I see there I just used the cookie cutter to press that bit of soap back in. Okay, so here's the next one. I'm just giving my cookie cutters a quick clean. I'm going to do a different pattern for this one. So I am again painting the inside of the cookie cutter. I'm just dusting it off onto another paper towel, just turning it over and tapping it on a paper towel to get any of the excess that's sitting on the surface of the soap off. Then I am pressing in the next size up in whatever pattern I like, and then I am painting it with whatever mica I choose. So I'm doing a sort of dark pink, light pink, dark pink, light pink pattern here, which is also the one I did for the last one. But I'm just choosing to position my cutters in a slightly different position for this bar compared to my last bar. I'm also keeping paper towel on hand. You find that when you get to the stage like I am here where the cookie cutters overhang the soap, obviously you're going to get a little bit of mica maybe appearing on your working surface as it sort of gets brushed off the side. So I'm just cleaning up as I go because I don't want a whole bunch of mica stuck to the surface of my soap bar. So here we go, I'm nearly finished with this one. Got one last color to go. And I think with this one, I actually will leave some of the areas clear, which means they'll take on the background color, which is fine. That's just a great way to get another color, add another color without actually having to paint it on. You just use the background color. So here I am for the next one. I've just planned this one out. That's why you can see some of the cookie cutter lines in there. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but I've planned it out and now I'm happy with it. I'm doing my painting. This one I'm going to go from dark pink all the way to my lightest pink, so sort of like graduating shades. And I've just matched the cookie cutters up with the top of the heart, and so I'm getting a sort of, you know, stepped effect, I suppose, coming down from the top of the heart. Nearly done this one, using lighter shades as I go. And I think I've even got room, I've got a bit of room up the top to maybe just fit in another little heart here. I'm just doing an abstract pattern, anything will do. I'm just making it up as I go along. There we go. And I've left some of that clear as well. So there we go. And then I'm just going to use those clear sections is where I'm going to push that down into the mold. So check these out. That didn't take me very long at all. I've got some beautiful painted patterns here using my cookie cutters. And now look what I did off camera. Yeah, I thought I'd have a play around and I came up with these. So I've done the other 3 bars in rainbow colors, but very similar patterns and exactly the same way as you saw me just do the pink ones. And now I am ready for the next step, which is putting on the back layer. Now, it's very important that this back layer is a dark color. You need a dark color behind the mica or else it doesn't sparkle, it doesn't show as well. So here I'm using the darkest pink mica that I have. I've mixed it in with my essential oils, which I'm using to scent my soap. I'm doing a mixture of bergamot, geranium and patchouli. It smells amazing, very sweet and lovely, which is just what you want a Valentine soap to smell like. And I'm just mixing that in now. I'm going to give this a good stir. I also don't want the soap base to be too hot. You know, there's a fine line, so it needs to be hot enough so that it sticks to the layer that I've done, because sometimes if the soap's too cold it doesn't stick, your soap separates. But it also, I don't want it too hot, because then it can smudge the mica. If it's really hot, it can smudge that mica and then you get a bit of a hole in your soap, and you don't want that either. So here we go. I've just placed my mold on a tray and on my kitchen scales, because I am going to weigh out the soap again. Decided I'm going to add a little bit of red and even a drop of black, because I just want this color here just a little bit darker. It needs to be dark. I don't want to use black. Sometimes I do use black, but in this case I thought a really dark pink would look awesome, because it's also, I've left some clear parts, so I don't want the clear parts to show black. That'll ruin the effect. So I want those clear parts to show a really dark rich pink, and I'm quite happy with what I've got here. This is looking pretty good. I think that's a lovely color. All right, so I'm going to start pouring. I'm pouring onto a spoon purely because I don't want the heat of the soap to cause a hole in my mica. So pour onto the spoon and let the soap roll off the spoon and just move slowly across the surface of the mica. Doing it that way means the mica won't be disturbed and you won't have shifting mica, which will leave a hole in your pattern. And so I'm also sort of directing it to the area of the mold where there wasn't any mica as well, again just to be super on the safe side. And I'm pouring another 40 grams or 1.4 ounces on top of these, setting the scales to 0 as I go in between each one. Here we go, it's the last one that I'm pouring here. I hope I have enough. You can see that this soap isn't super hot because of the fact that it's not pooling properly around the edge of the mold. I am going to spray it with alcohol to try and fix that up, but at the same time I don't want overspray of my alcohol to hit my rainbow hearts, which I'm going to cover next, because that will get the mica wet, and if the mica is wet then it can also shift when the soap hits it. So I'm doing my best when I spray my alcohol not to get any overspray onto my rainbow patterned soaps, but I'm happy with that. All right, now I've melted the same amount again with a little bit extra. I've got some black sort of charcoal colored mica, which I've mixed into my fragrance oil this time. And yeah, I've decided to use black for the rainbow, just because it is the color that will bring the rainbow colors out the best. And you know, black goes with any color, so I think that'll look fine on the back of the rainbow bars. I just wanted to use red on the back of the pinky bars. So here we go, just switching this around so I can begin to pour these. They are so fantastic, aren't they? They're so bright. I'm loving how they're coming out. You can see my mica painting on this side isn't super neat. There's a few smudges here and there, but that's fine. That won't be seen on the other side because I'll have the nice crisp lines, and you won't see any of the bits that are spilled over either, which is fantastic. So you don't have to be a fantastic artist. You don't have to be super accurate. This is very forgiving, very easy and quick project to do, but it makes a real wowzer soap that, you know, everybody will love. So here we go again, just pouring in my 40 grams or 1.4 ounce on top of the spoon, because I don't want to mess up that mica. Resetting my scales to 0 in between as I go, and hopefully I have enough here. I did do some extra, but there we go, pouring that in, just touching that up. I've actually got a little blob of unmelted soap in there. You can't really see it, but There it is. I'm trying to bury it. All right, give that a spray with the alcohol to get rid of those surface bubbles, and that is that. So a pretty easy project. They're ready to demold now, and let's have a look how they come out of the mold. So look at that. That is fantastic. Straight out of the mold. They're looking pretty good. There's not a lot that I'm going to need to do to fix these up. Maybe a little bit of trimming at the back. But that's, not going to take me any time at all. Look at these fantastic patterns. They're swirly and they're shiny. Really, really great. In the light, when the light catches them, they really are beautiful. So there we go. There's the 3 pink ones. And now let's pop out these fantastic rainbow ones. I am noticing that I have got in some places a little bit of mica stuck to the surface of the soap. That's fine. I'll easily be able to just buff that off. That's not an issue. And also, I don't think the camera is showing it, but I can see the impression of the paper towel that I used in the top of some of the soaps too. But again, that'll come off really easy. I don't have to worry about that. All right, I'm going to put them on this tray so I can hold them up and show you them at an angle so they pick up the light, and you can see how beautiful and sparkly they really are. Let me see if I can do this without them all falling off. There we go. Look at that. They are gorgeous. I'm loving it. And that was so quick and easy, and really didn't require anything other than some great mica colors. So here they are here. Fantastic. I don't know what to say. They're lovely. They're going to be even shinier and even clearer when they're wet. So when you go to use them, they're just going to be, the clarity is going to be amazing, and you're going to have these beautiful colors coming through. What a great Valentine's gift right there. That is fantastic. And here are the rainbow ones, which are perfect for any time of year. Just a really cool, fun soap. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this tweak of the week. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you love what I do. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy!